Here we go. Hello, welcome to the people around the world, and also at this absolutely wonderful event. And I tell you, we kicking it off, and we got Mr. Clement Johnson that's going to pick it up from here and do the intro. And I hope everyone have an absolutely wonderful time at this conference. And I tell you, it's a lot of great information going to be put out. And so you got Clemens and you got Al Rentero that's going to be bringing a lot of great information. So I just hope everybody enjoy this. Hey, Clement, I don't know if you're ready. Can you hear me? Because you got it.
I can hear you just fine. And welcome, everyone. My name is Clement Johnson. My company is Clement LLC. And what I'm here to do is discuss one of our products called Clement, which is an operational technology network. This operational technology network eliminates the need for enterprise, and it helps companies in order to establish their networks without the need for excessive administration. I'm going to talk a little bit about our company and what we do, and then I want to pass it on to some of our vendors that help actually operate. I think you're going to find this very informative. And then from there, we're going to go into the state of California. And for the state of California, we're going to talk about how to do contracts within the government. And we're gonna talk about how the state of California can help you in your business to do business with the state. So our first slide is using automation, and this is what Clement LLC does. We're an enterprise, and we are built for enterprise. We take operational technology networks and we secure those networks in order to ensure that you can pass information securely. And through operational technology networks, we're talking data to data exchange. Normally, when we're talking networking, we're looking at information technology. This operational technology is a little bit different. We're talking machines such as in manufacturing plants. For people in the audience that are working with SCADA machines, this is how you can put your SCADA system into an environment so that your corporation can view not just the processes that are happening inside of your organization. You'll also be able to see the processes happening in every manufacturing plant in your organization globally. And through our software and our hardware platform, you can bring up all the networks within your enterprise within about 10 seconds. So what is different from what we do compared to other operational technology networks? And our diagram shows you our platform. Our platform is software agnostic, and it doesn't require any additional program in order to find all the devices that are on your network. For those familiar with operational technology networks, we know that we have the Purdue model, and then the Purdue model is where lies your OT. But not all devices can lie within that Purdue model. Some are outside of the network. They have other software and other protocol that doesn't necessarily fit within what your networks can pick up. With our operational technology, it's going to pick up your networks within the Purdue model. It's going to pick up all of your devices that are on some other type of protocol that you haven't been able to communicate and put them inside of one OU. If you had 4,000 devices within your SCADA system, normally other equipment manufacturers will come through. They have programs in. With our system, within 15 to 25 seconds, you got everything. Everything will automatically pop up, and you'll see your network devices in a list. And then from that list, you apply permissions and standards. For instance, in our diagram, we can see how our network connects to other programs, such as AWS, it connects to VMware, it connects to Microsoft Azure. So you can still be within your normal working environment. And it also connects to your manufacturer-specific platforms, such as your ABB platforms, your Schneider Electric. All of that will be within inside of your OU, and automatically you'll be connected between IT and OT. Let's take a look at some of our products within the Clement product, and as I said before, we integrate. Telos is one of our companies that we do our network ossification with. So within our OT network, you can hide your IP anywhere in the world. We connect with in order to do the video data visualizations. You can also do your network cybersecurity through. We have our ATOP program. In our ATOP program, we can put our data diode. And through our data diode, you can set up individual analysis on the network. So if there's network issues, you can program it to automatically click off through your data diode. And then we have our product Eaton, which is here today. And through Eaton, we have our battery management. And through our TOSI box, it also connects to our battery management system, which will allow you to do remote monitoring, remote access. Your administrators will be able to monitor anywhere they are in the world. So first, I will bring on Eaton, and Eaton will give us a conversation about their product, and then we'll talk about how we actually get people to come and be ready to work in operational technology, because it's different than IT. So we have Miracosta that'll come on next to talk about that. So I'm going to change presentations here. Right there? Yep. Outstanding. Outstanding. And we'll bring on the
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Frank Rizzo with Eaton. Can we see me okay up there, or are we still? Huh? We still working online. Okay, as long as they can see me on the delay, that's perfectly fine. Hey guys, I'm with Eaton. I am the partner development sales manager for Southern California for Eaton. We work very closely with Clem. Clement with our solutions. I'm going to ask in the room how many people are actually familiar with Eaton, and it's not Easton, the baseball bat people. Anybody? Okay, we got a couple of people. Well, let me tell you a little bit about Eaton before we get started. I like to say we're a small mom and pop company. We've been around for about 100 years, $20 billion in revenue, about 100,000 employees worldwide. Headquartered now in Dublin, Ireland. Our U.S. headquarters is in Cleveland. We started out 100 years ago making truck axles. And we've come a long way since then. A number of different divisions within the organization. We have aerospace, filtration, hydraulics, electric, and our vehicle group. Our vehicle group, the EV group now is growing there again. We're starting another group in that. But today we're going to talk more about power quality and rack enclosure distributed IT infrastructure. But that gives you an idea of the size of Eaton. No, we're not a small mom and pop company. We're a pretty good size. Now, what do we provide in this type of an environment? We start with UPS, an uninterruptible power supply, and then we bring to the table racks. Sorry, guys. Or enclosures, 4-post racks, completely enclosed. A PDU. Okay, power distribution unit, fancier term for power strips that people know. We can do a lot with those. We can manage and monitor all the way down to the outlet level. And all of that can be controlled with, or we also have environmental monitoring probes. We'll pick up temperature, humidity in the room. You can have dry contacts there to pick up water. All of that is managed by our integrated power solution software. And I'm going to get a lot into our Bright Layer solution. What you're seeing up there right now is our IPM, which is just a component inside of our platform. But the way Eaton has grown over the years is by acquisition. Okay, and I think a lot of you, if you're familiar with the power industry, are familiar with Tripp Lite. A year and a half ago, Eaton acquired Tripp Lite, and so it wasn't just the power components that we were looking at. We were looking at the full portfolio that they offer. So they've added to our portfolio, okay, some KVM switches, a lot more rack opportunities. They had phenomenal racks. And so we have a lot of inventory on the rack side where we're leveraging there. Also, cooling solutions for network cloud data centers, brought those to the table. Cables, if you're looking for a cable, we can now offer you almost any cable you could possibly want. And for you guys that are working in that type of environment, everything needs to be cabled. Obviously, everything needs power, but also needs data transfer as well. Bringing to the table charging carts. So a bunch of laptops, Chromebooks, they go into the cart, they get in a school type of environment, sanitized, charged overnight, come back out. Displays and mounts, like the display over there, the TV's on for desks, things along those lines. So really that acquisition helped fill out our portfolio in those regards in the distributed IT. So as you look at it, it's a complete solution. You've got the rack, PDU, UPS, the KVM, the connectivity with all the cables, and the cooling. So it rounds out the complete solution. And you can see it in a couple of different applications here. I'm going to talk a couple of applications. One here is in the education environment. So like I started with, you've got the charging carts. The charging carts that you've got, that you're putting those Chromebooks in at the end of the day. You know, those carts are on wheels. They can be rolled around. They can also be secure. You also have wall-mounted racks when you put a rack in a classroom, it needs to be secure for all the equipment that's in there. Presentation remotes, though we're not using that right now. We also have E-rate eligible products. So E-rate is an education way of funding. We help with that E-rate procurement, display mounts, and solutions for everyday environments. You can always reach out and work through those. Clement is, like I said, one of our certified partners. So he has access to all of this. I can help you spec things out in these environments, and we can walk through that with Clement. Healthcare is a little bit different when it comes to power, because you've got your standard type of environment for your IT network, but you've got some other laws that come into place when you get close to a patient. So we actually support inside that patient bubble for power backup, for the power backups, also for the PDUs for distribution. And once again, you get back into that environment where you need charging stations as well. So in healthcare, we have a whole complement that runs there. In the actual healthcare products, we also back those up as well. I have a customer down here in Southern California that every one of their piece of lab equipment that goes out the door with one of the UPSs attached to it. So also another opportunity in an area to take a look at. Government. So we have all sorts of products that are TAA compliant. We have GSA schedules. We have ways to leverage both federal contracts, state and local contracts, and switches that we brought in are NIAP certified, which is a certification that's required by the federal government there. So questions from anybody here in the room while we're here. I usually like to do interactive presentations. It's a little bit different trying to do it online as well. Anybody have any questions at this point? What I'm going to talk about is some of Eaton's new product launches. So we can talk a little bit about where the environment's going. In the last year, we launched our second generation of our 5PX 2U rack mountable UPS. We also went into our 9PX line, which is a line interactive with lithium ion in the 1 to 3 kVA environment. This year, exciting news, we'll be rolling that out in a larger units. I'll touch on that. And then in the PDUs, we also have some exciting stuff that came out. So on the next gen of the 5PX, what we were able to do is increase runtime, create a smaller footprint with this. And also we're talking about our cybersecurity, which I'll get to that card a little bit later, will come standard within that for you. The lithium ion. This is where things are getting very exciting in UPS backup. There's a change in the way power is stored. With lithium ion, I think there may be some other things coming down the road as well. But what it's going to give you is longer battery life. Okay, so a standard UPS with VLRA batteries, those batteries need to be replaced every 3 to 4 to 5 years. With the lithium ion batteries, we're looking at an 8-year lifespan on those types of units, 8 to 10 years. So we're really talking about now with the Edge, a set it and forget it type of UPS. And with that, we're backing those up with a 5-year warranty out of the box on both the UPS and the battery. So that's something really cool. They also charge a lot faster. So you're not waiting 24 hours to recharge those batteries. That's taking place in a shorter period, maybe 6 to 8 hours for a full recharge on the batteries in that UPS. Smaller, lighter, more efficient, not as much weight. Also the EBMs, which are the extended battery modules, give you more runtime. We are now able to put those in a 1U form factor for that. So much smaller instead of the larger footprint. Increased run times and battery replacement costs. I mean, batteries cost money when you replace them, so the total cost of ownership will go up. With a VLRA battery, you're looking at probably a $600 investment every 3 to 4 years. With the lithium ion, it is going to be 8 to 10 years before you do that. So those are in our smaller UPSs now. The 1 to 3 kVA coming out the first half of this year is going to be our 6 to 10 kVA. For those, we also have the larger cabinets for our large UPSs. Eaton's the #1 manufacturer of three-phase UPSs worldwide. We're talking the big power, something that's going to power this building, power large data centers. If you go into any of the large data centers out there, you're going to see Eaton is in all of them because we are the cutting edge on the large UPSs. Now here, the other thing I wanted to talk about was our new C39 receptacle. So most people, when you're talking 208, you've got a C14, a C20, or a C13, C19s as your plugs and receptacles. Well, in the PDU, that made it really complicated for plugging stuff in. So Eaton came out with a cutting edge new receptacle. You'll see over here on the wall, there's a 515, which is what you plug into, but you can't plug anything else into it. Here, you can plug both the C13, C19s can plug directly into those outlets. Okay, and it's a C39, we have it patented. So really what that's going to do is it's going to give you ease of use to install, okay, for distributing the power throughout the PDU. You're not going to have to figure out which cord goes where. It's going to be very easily put in there, reduce downtime in deployment. It also has an integrated retention clip, so those plugs are not falling out. So it actually goes in and it's clipped so that those are not going to fall out. Just gives you more flexibility. Now, Eaton, as I talked about, we have some large UPSs. We've taken some of that technology and taken the modular approach in the single phase design. So we have actually our blade ups unit over here on the left-hand side. We can actually go all the way to 60 kVA in that single rack, N+1. So those are 12 kVA building blocks that can go in a rack. You can roll it right in, boom, and you're off and running and distribute the power out through the PDUs that we just talked about. Also, we have the 9PXM, which is a single phase that will give you up to 20 kVA in that small platform. It can be mounted in a rack, or it can also be a standalone tower. These are modular, so you can actually take that 4 kVA building blocks, take out the block, put in a battery module instead to get more runtime with it. So those can be configured anywhere from 4 to 12 kVA, to 20 kVA. The great part about that is you build in redundancy. In case one of the modules fails, you have another one there for it. Our three-phase units, just to give you an idea, the 9355, 93E, and 93PM, those can range anywhere from 10 kVA to 400 kVA. So that unit on the 93PM can go all the way to 400 kVA. That can either be done with 50 kVA building blocks. And that one can also tie to lithium ion. Gigabit network card. So Eaton was the very first to work with UL to come up with a cyber secure network card. Now, with the Internet of Things, we were like, okay, people are connecting to the internet, they're connecting their UPSs, all of a sudden they're creating doors for hackers to get in. And I think if you look back about 6 months ago, one of our competitors got hit with attacks through their network card. And we actually worked with UL to make the network cards secure, and their UL 2900.02.1, I think is the actual code. We helped write that with UL. And so that really will have your network card with the firmware digitally secured. It's encrypted, new authorization there, but also when you set it up, it is not going to let you leave that password what it is when you get it. That's what a lot of people never do, is change those dang passwords. We're forcing the changing of the password so nobody can get in there. All right, so I promise the cool part. The cool part is our Bright Layer suite. So we look at this as, Microsoft has Microsoft Office. Well, we have Bright Layer, and within Bright Layer, we offer a whole number of suites of management software solutions. So it could be a DSIM, a distributed IT infrastructure, remote monitoring. I'm going to touch on these a little bit here. So what I think is really cool to look at is our virtual capacity manager, VCOM. It's one of our software platforms that you can actually look across your whole infrastructure across the whole country. You build it in there, you can build 3D models, you can see exactly where everything is. When there's a power anomaly that goes on and your UPS goes on battery, you'll get an alert, you can see it right there. Or if you need to move a machine, boom, you can do it right there. We also have, under Insights, we have a solution called Predict Pulse. And that's where your UPS, usually the large UPSs, will be sending data back to Eaton every 15 minutes. And we monitor this on algorithms, and we can turn around and tell you, you know what? Your fans are going to fail in the next 30 days. Let's go out there and take care of it before you have downtime. Or your capacitors. So we actually are doing predictive analytics to the information that comes in so that people aren't having downtime, which is just amazing. And then in the distributed IT infrastructure, I mean, we've had Intelligent Power Manager around for years. First solution to integrate into VMware. We're actually able to migrate machines automatically from one location to another, shut down non-critical VMs, consolidate loads so that we can save runtime and save business. So in an environment where you think it's lots of transactions, lots of credit card transactions going on, have a power outage, you shut off all the other servers other than what's handling those transactions so that you have a longer runtime there. So, any questions? Was I able to keep that within the 20 minutes, Clem?
Yes, you were.
Excellent. So Clem's going to come back up here and do another introduction. I'm not sure who is next.
To Linda from Miracosta.
To Linda. Oops.
Well, thank you so much for that brief. And for those of us that are out and we don't necessarily have that operational technology background, this stuff may seem a little convoluted to you. And if you're not thinking battery backup and you haven't had a need for battery backup, I think Eaton has done their job, and the other battery companies have done their jobs. I can take, for instance, a cybersecurity company, or let's do a military organization. You're working in the COC. For us military that are in the audience or out here, and maybe the generator goes down, or if you're connected to power, the power goes down. Does it automatically switch off? I'll guarantee you that most of the time, at least 30% of your computers, the battery won't be any good. And then and then this stuff that we talked about will come into the forefront, because it's not going to be the PFC's computer that goes down. It's going to be the watch officer that's actually doing the work. So Linda, let me bring up your presentation, and okie dokie. And I don't think that one is it. Hey. And everyone, apologize for the wait, but it's going to be well worth it, because now we're going to talk about how the people actually get trained on operational technology.
All right, let's talk about the good stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit about My name is Linda Kurakawa. I'm the Executive Director for Mira Costa College's Community Education and Workforce Development. And we're going to talk today a little bit about the future. And I'm really excited to talk about the future, and I pay a lot of attention to it because I'm going to spend a lot of time in it. So are you. So we are realizing that our educational system is not keeping up. And so Mira Costa College is really focused on future disruption, things that are changing, and how we can change along with it. And my department, I have to say, is leading the way. So it's really exciting to be the director there. And what I do and my Technology Career Institute does is provide accelerated, just-in-time type of training for jobs that don't yet exist and for jobs that you have currently. So how do we train somebody for a job that doesn't exist? So let's talk about that. It's about talking about a new economy, a new type of technology, new type of finance, a new type of world that we're living in. So what all the data is showing us is that to be successful in all of that, it needs both knowledge, skills, and abilities for in-demand occupations and education, academics with technical skills. And we will have to do that the rest of our lives to keep up because technology is changing so rapidly. Would you not agree? Yeah. So at our college, there are 3 ways to get educated, and it's not all that important, but we're very familiar with getting credit classes, taking them Mondays and Wednesdays and Tuesdays and Thursdays and having a summer off. And this is our credit pathway towards an AA degree or a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. We also have what's called non-credit state-funded classes, and these are classes in ESL, adult high school, remedial skills. But my department is called Not for Credit. It is not state-funded, and I am the only department at Mira Costa College that is self-funded. So I don't receive 1 penny of tax dollars or general fund money. So how do I operate? How do I run accelerated on, just-in-time training without funds? I'll tell you, it's hard. And I do a lot of grant writing, and we charge some tuitions, but I like to keep the tuitions down as low as possible because I want anyone to access our training programs. So what makes us unique? Well, it's a hub in North San Diego, where you can count on our steady supply of skilled, competent graduates who take a course in a semester or less. And what do we do to make that robust enough, skilled enough, is we accelerate the training. They go very frequently, and we embed it with loads and loads and loads of hands-on training. That's the key. So we offer industry recognized technician level skills. And so we get high school graduates, we get unemployed, underemployed, loads of veterans, and they get trained quickly and they can fill vacant jobs right away. We de-risk your hiring by giving you people who have hands-on experience and who've been trained in a broad base of technical skills. So let's look at what those are. We embed job readiness in our skill training. We give leadership and training. We train them on OSHA and Lean. We train them to work collaboratively with each other and with our industries and with our high schools. And all of our programs lead to certificates, not credit. We have award-winning security courses. There's veterans for security positions at the highest level. We have an engineering technician program. This program is kind of our flagship program in that it trains somebody in all of the new technical skills we have in most manufacturing plants, such as collaborative robots. We train them in PLC. We train them in pneumatics. We train them in mechanical. We train them in electrical. And they do it in 600 hours in 4 months. They go every day, all day, 5 days a week. And they have to be there 90% of the training or they don't get certificate. Now, I mentioned de-risking your hire. So by having somebody there every day who is learning how to work and they do hands-on 75%, you've got somebody who's ready to walk into a job. And in addition, they're able to work with our local industries to learn what it's like to be in an industrial environment. Now, I'm not sure that this computer has the ability to have sound. So I'm going to try and see if I can launch this. And doesn't look like it. I was afraid of that. Let's try this.
The Technology Career Institute is this amazing facility that's located in Carlsbad. It's really Mariposa College's best offerings for short-term accelerated training to put people into high-skill, high-wage, high-demand jobs that are exciting and provide lots of opportunity for folks. The engineering tech program involves automation and robotics and electronics and mechanical aspects. The machinist program is really designed for people that want to build and assemble things that are involved in manufacturing of all sorts.
I already have a job lined up, and it's so exciting because my employer is just more excited for me to come back to work and to put everything that I've learned into the projects that we have coming up.
So that's just a very, very short view of what our training center actually looks like. Those are real people, and that's our real training center. So our machinist technology program teaches students both manual and CNC machine. Our advanced manufacturing programs are in blueprint reading, CNC programming, operation, Python, SolidWorks. Those are the types of programs we might offer in the evenings and weekends. Electronic assembly, IPC certification, and a general robotics course, Internet of Things, courses such as that. And we are preparing our graduates to go into every type of manufacturing environment. Even maritime, because we have a keen passion for making a difference for sustainable use of our ocean and waterways. And so a lot of what we do is really focused also on being able to teach our students about sustainable blue technology. We have a welding program, biomedical equipment technician program, where they learn how to repair and operate and calibrate medical machines that go into hospitals and labs. We have an RV drone technician program, and the students learn to both take apart, put together, and fly and get FAA license certified for drones. We have an award-winning craft brewing technician program. We're the only college in San Diego County that has an actual brew house, and we've won a national award for beer tasting. In fact, we won 3 gold medals and a silver medal. So, and then the following year, we won 4 silver medals. So our instructor is exciting, and he owns a brewery. So our students learn from the best. We have a real estate program. We have a phlebotomy program. And new programs coming are composites training, HVAC, aquaculture, EMT, and computer boot camps. So we're expanding what we're doing. We have a 22,000 square foot building, so I'm not sure how long we'll be able to stay in that building. We are busting at the seams. You can imagine. All that equipment, all those students needs a lot of space. We also train our local industries. We bring them on board. Tomorrow, there's a computer training in one of our computer labs. Next week, we have ESL classes and Spanish classes. Last week, we started a blueprint reading. And the week before that, we were at Qualcomm certification. So we do it there or at our place. As I say, your place or mine. And we teach them whatever it is that our local industry needs to do to upskill their employees, because that's going to be a very huge endeavor. And I am getting more and more phone calls from local industry who need to upskill their employees. And so that's something we can do at a low cost. So our successes is that we've been able to launch apprenticeship, pre-apprenticeships, and have a $3.5 million grant from our local assemblywoman for paid internships. So we pay to have you take one of our graduates. How de-risking is that? We've created a career readiness boot camp. All of our students who go through our signature work skills programs are taught to professionalism, how to show up on time, how to dress for success, how to be there and be present, teamwork, team development, critical thinking, all of those professional skills that are so critical. What's so great about doing this type of training, so necessary, is that we have an over 90% employment rate and over a 90% retention rate. Our engineering tech program has 100% retention and 100% employment. And the college has between a 40 and 60%, the regular credit programs, 40 to 60%. So you can see where this is the wave of the future. Not only are we preparing them more skill with these accelerated hands-on, but we are preparing them in a way that helps make them successful. And so our programs are also GI Bill funded. I also have scholarships available for students so that we keep that tuition as low as possible. And Friday, I received $1 million check from our congressman to help our programs, again, keeping that tuition as low as possible. So I've brought in about $15 million worth of grants over the last 8 years. And that is how we afford all the equipment and how we keep those tuitions as low as possible. So what's next? TCI 2.0, of course. I want a building that is owned by us. The one I'm using right now is rented from the city of Carlsbad. It's a wonderful partnership, but they do charge rent. And I want to find donors who will help see a future for blending both accelerated work skills programs and startups in the same building. Now imagine this. You've got a suite of startups that are building sustainable prototypes for new industry, sustainable prototypes for new product and new markets. We've got students over here learning welding, machining, engineering. Let's blend them. Let's get the students working with our startups working with our equipment and our instructors, and bringing in business to talk to both of them and sponsor both of them and get excited about them. This building would be the center of innovation, entrepreneurism, and enterprise for the future. That has happened at TCI on a small scale. I want to expand it and be a model for how the future of community college can run an innovation center in every location around the United States. That's the future of college. It's kind of growing up the college. so that we have patents coming out of there, so that we have enterprise coming out of there, so that we have innovation and mostly entrepreneurism. 70% of our young high school students, when asked what they want to do when they grow up, is they want to be entrepreneurs. Now, we all know that's not all going to happen, but as long as they have a desire, let's give them exposure to it and see what they can do through our programs. Now, our programs don't attract just high school students. In fact, our average age is 34. So we attract job changers, we attract veterans after they've been in the military, we attract everyone. So let's give them an opportunity to see what that looks like and see themselves as the next entrepreneur. So you can see I need a building 3 times the size, and it's going to be a regional training center for companies also. And we'll create a space where our industry partners can come in and have free meetings and join us. So this is a new novel approach to what we're doing, this accelerated training and entrepreneurism together. It's exciting. And so if you have questions about this, you'd like to contact me or have a discussion, or you happen to have $50 million and you'd like to sponsor that building and have your name on it, just contact me. I'm available to have that discussion. Or if you have less than that, or you just want to help me find the 50 million, that would be great. And lastly, I'd like to thank Clement for partnering with us and letting us present today.
Outstanding, Linda, and thank you so much. And as you can see, our community here in San Diego, it already is a tech hub for regular technology. It already is a tech hub for healthcare. The projects that Linda is doing will make us a tech hub for operational technology and moving our industries into the future. Think of the Build Back Better plan and the type of students that she's going to be putting on those types of projects, along with Eden and the EV stuff that they're going to be doing for the Build Back Better plan. Next, that leads us into the state of California. And I'd like to invite up Wayne Gross. Which one is yours, Wayne?
Second one. There you go.
Okay. Sometimes she doesn't cooperate, but we had a technology. There we go. Outstanding. Oops.
Hey, Clem, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey, Clem, you might want to reposition your camera so that the online folks can see the PowerPoint presentations. They can only see half of it. If you move it over a little bit, I think they'll be able to see the whole thing.
Okay. Give me a second. I think I'll do this.
Okay.
I think there's a
By the way, great job, man. Great presentation, great folks.
Is that better?
Let's see. I don't see the presentation. Uh, can you put the
You should
presentation?
be able to go down.
Oh,
If you go
oh,
down in the box, it should be in the screen share.
okay. So you want it
You see
like
it?
that? Yeah, that's better.
Right.
Okay, that's how it should be.
Okay.
Okay. All
Outstanding.
right.
I'd like to introduce Wayne Gross for the state of California.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Wayne Gross. I'm a business outreach liaison with the Department of General Services. And my email address is wayne.d.gross@dgs.ca.gov. And my phone number is 279-946-8387. And I'm your atypical state worker. What I mean by that is the only dumb question is the one you don't ask. And it won't be between my work hours on Monday through Friday. For you'll be with the stars from Monday night. That question comes up at night. Call me. I answer the phone. I answer emails all the way up until about 9:30 when I go to bed. So, and hopefully I can answer your question. It's sweet. Or I'll tell you, hey, let's talk tomorrow at 9 o'clock, that type of situation. So anyway, so we're going to be talking about how to do business with the state of California. And I'm going to do an overview of our program, talk about the 3 certifications we have, talk about bid solicitations, where you find them. We're going to talk about past purchases. It's always good to know what agencies are buying the things that you're trying to sell them. We're going to talk about the advocates. These are the gatekeepers of the different agencies. You will not, I repeat, you will not talk to buyers. They're too busy buying. And so you had a problem? I didn't do anything.
I think,
Lose me?
let me make sure we're. Yeah, we're good there. And okay, can you see this on? Can you see?
Okay, after that, we're going to talk about reciprocity. These are agencies throughout the state that honor the small and/or disabled veteran business enterprise, or DVBE certifications. Then we're going to talk about commercially useful function. That's basically saying whatever you're asked to do, you can do it. If you your profession is tile, and someone calls and says, hey, can you give me a quote for installing carpet? Okay, that ain't gonna work, right? So don't do it. So in fiscal year 2021, we first of all, we have 2 goals. We have a 25% small business goal, which is now, it used to be aspirational. Effective January 1st, it is now mandatory, just like the DVBE goal, which is mandatory of 3%. What does that mean to you? That means that the state agencies are required to attain that 25 and or 3% goal. If they don't, then they have to present a report on how they're going to attain it the next year. Okay. And if they've done it so bad, then they might have our director, or someone like me meet with their buyers, et cetera, and explain to us why they didn't meet it, and for us to give them pointers on how they can reach their goals. But like I said, in 2021, we only did 14.6% or 3.1 billion. And for DVBE, we did 2.5% or 520 million out of the 21.2% or $21.2 billion in contracts. And the reason that we didn't meet both of those goals, I think you may have heard of the two situations. One was COVID, and the other is the fires. And so hopefully we're at the tail end of COVID. And right now, with all the rains, we don't have to talk about fires yet. But in a couple months, we'll be right back into that same pot. So hopefully we'll be able to attain those goals. So the state certifications, we have 3. One is the small business, the basic one. We have small business for the purposes of public works. And then we have the Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise, or DVBE. And the benefits, number 1 is a 5% bid preference for small business or small business for public works. Where that happens is you go in as non-certified with a $100,000 bid. I come in as a certified at 102. With that, you should win. You're the lower of the 2 bids. But in that solicitation, it says that there will be a 5% bid preference for small businesses. Well, I'm certified, right? I did 102. So what happens is the administrator would take 5% of the lowest non-certified bid. So 5% of 100,000 is 5,000. And so they would subtract that from my bid of 102. I'm now at 97. 97 versus 100. I win. Okay. Did it cost me anything? No. Your certification is free. How many people are actually certified? Everyone is. Good. Okay. So you see how that can be an advantage for you. How many are disabled veterans? Everyone did. Well, there's one that's not. Oh, well, there's always one, right? Yeah, that's okay. Anyway, we have what they call a 5% bid incentive, and that can go from 0 up to 5% depending on the solicitation. Here again, it is written into that solicitation. Another benefit is exclusive contract opportunities. You have the thing called Cali Procure, where you get your notifications. There's this thing called the Prompt Payment Act. What that is, and listen carefully, okay, it's not for DVBEs. It's for small businesses only, okay? But if you're certified small business and DVBE, you're covered, okay? And so basically what that says is when you turn your invoice, okay, if it's an undisputed invoice, the agency has up to 45 days to pay you, okay? If they don't, then they are supposed to put a late fee attached to it. So if, let's say at the 45th day, your invoice was $10,000 and they waited to the 60th day, you should have automatically gotten $10,287.17 worth of late payments on top of that $10,000 invoice. Okay. I'm here to tell you that we ain't perfect. There are agencies that don't pay their bills on time. Okay. And so you reap the benefits. Okay. If you're not getting paid, the first person that you will talk to will be the administrator of that contract. Find out where that invoice is. Okay. You assume that when you emailed it to them, okay, that was day one. Okay. It's not. It could have got, that person could have been on vacation for 2 weeks. Maybe they retired. Maybe they quit, whatever. You don't know what's going on internally. And so you have to follow up. If you don't get paid on that 45th day, on that 46th day, you're on the phone. Okay. That's just me doing this for 14 years and giving you some legal advice. Okay. The next thing is working with our reciprocity partners. These are agencies throughout the state that honor the small business and or DVBE. And then finally, working with prime contractors. If you have a goods or service where a prime is involved, a prime can actually do the whole thing, okay? But the state is in the business of wanting small business and or DVB participation, mandatory, right? So it gives you the flexibility of spreading the wealth through prime contractors if you want to be a sub. So back in the 70s, I'm dating myself, we had an expression. It was called KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And that's our mantra. Okay. The California state certification process is the easiest on earth. Okay. If you try, there's several certifications that you can go, but ours is the quick and dirtiest. Okay. Literally, if you have everything in front of you that you're asked for in the application and you hit submit, you can literally be getting your certification right there on the spot. Okay. So here are the requirements. You must be independently owned and operated. Here's the one that I hate, the expression, not dominant in your field. What the heck is that? That means there's competition out there. Okay. Unfortunately, the statute says not dominant in a field in operation. And so my people say we have to put it that way. So next is, this is a California program. We do not want any of the riffraff from Oregon or Arizona or Texas, right? So, and there's 100 employee limit. And over the last 3 tax years, gross annual receipts cannot exceed an average of 16 million. Pretty simple requirements. Now, with the public works certification, everything's the same for the first 4, but we raised the 100 up to 200, okay? And the GARs, the gross annual receipts, over the last 3 tax years average to 37 million. Now, next year, July 1st, it's going up to 38. The following year, it's going up to 39. And then the next year, it will level off at 440. Okay, so, but everyone says, oh, yeah, well, you know, I'm in landscaping, which means public works. Okay. And so, you know, there's only, 3 of us, and we're, I'd be lucky if I made $1 million. Do I need to get the public works? Okay. Because it's up to 200 and way up to 37 million. No. Okay. This is designed for those individuals who are getting close to the 100 employees or the 16 million. If you're down there in the weeds, you don't need to get the public works. Okay. So don't waste your time, literally. The last one is your DVBE certification. A disabled veteran is defined as someone in the United States military, naval, or air service. Okay. You have to be at least 10% service disabled. You have proof. You have a letter of entitlement from the Department of Veterans Affairs. When you get certified, that letter has to be dated within 6 months of the date that you get certified. Okay. A lot of DVBEs have been, have had that status for, 5-10 years, and they decide to start their own business. Have you guys ever heard of e-benefits? Okay. On that page, there is a button that you can press to get a current letter of entitlement with today's date on it. Okay. So that makes that real easy. Okay. And this is a California-based program again, right? So the DVBE has to live here in California. The company can be anywhere, but the DVBE has to live here and has to control the daily operations. Go figure. You know, you're a DVB, you own your company. I would hope that you're involved in your daily operations. Okay, and there it's there. Daily management by the disabled veterans. And if you have to be 51% owned. If you are an LLC, all of the DVBEs have to be at least 10% service disabled. Okay, and I've been doing this now for 14 years, and 3 years ago I asked why. You know, who came up with that restriction, if you will, and guess who it was? It was all you DVBEs. That's what you wanted, and so our people said, "So be it." Okay, so we're going to go to caleprocure.ca.gov. That is our website, and everyone knows that. And you, on the top right, you log in. Okay. And so once you are logged in, you'll notice on the top right, my supplier ID number is test 7. Okay. And so I know I'm logged in. So I'm on our home page, and I want to do a search of our contracts registry. And so there's a button right there that says Start Search. And here's our search engine. There are 3 ways that you can do a search. You can do it by event name. That's a description. Something like paint. Okay. When you do a search, use the singular, not the plural. Okay. And there's a reason for that. If you put the word paints, plural, okay, you are just eliminating all the people that have the word paint, singular. But if I put the word paint, I'm going to get everything to the right of that T. Okay. I'll get painter, paints, plural, and anything else you can come up with after the word paint. Okay. Same goes with your profile. Okay. You always use the singular, not the plural. The second way is event ID. If you got an email that actually had the specific event ID number, you could put it, you're doing research, you want to pull up that contract. That's another way. The third way is by department. And you'll notice that there are 3 lines on the right side. When you click on that, it gives you a list of all the departments. The list is numeric, not alphabetic. Okay. Whoever the turkey was who did that, it goes beyond comprehension. And so, when you want to try and find something, you got to go down probably 3/4 of the way through the list to find the Department of the Department of Transportation. It's not under Caltrans. It is Department of Transportation, just like CalVet is Department of Veterans Affairs. These are the little nuances that you learn the hard way. Okay. And then you'll notice that you can do an advanced search. You see that advanced search and criteria. And you can do it by our UNSPSC codes. Those are the United Nations Specialty Products codes, not to be confused. And I hate to use the F word, and everyone knows the F word, right? Federal. What were you thinking? Get your mind out of the gutter. Anyway, the feds, they use the NAICS codes, the North America Industry Classification System. Okay. Another way you can do it is by service areas. Those are a fancy way of saying the counties. If you want to look at all of the solicitations for San Diego County, you put in San Diego County and you'll get a list. And the last way is contractor licenses. If you are in the construction field and you're looking for a certain painting, whatever the contract number is for that. That's another way that you can list the solicitations. And here's a list that you would get, something like this, and you can just click on it and it's going to open up. And so this is what a solicitation looks like. There are 3 columns. Under the far left one, under details, it gives you the event idea. So if you need to pull it up again, you can write that number down and pull it up that way. It has when it was published, when it was put on Cali Procure, and then it gives you a slight description. So if the description says, hey, I don't want to do it, don't waste your time. The middle column has the department. It has the event end date. And I love to bring this up because it gives you a date and a time. And this one says 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay. So if this quote that you have comes to these people at 2 minutes after 2, you just wasted your time. Okay. Okay. Another case, I love this one. Okay. On the far right, it has Maxwell Maurer, I believe is his name, and it got a phone number. I call Max up and say, hey, Max, I've got my quote. There's no way I can get it to you by 2 o'clock today. Can I fax it to you? And Max says, sure, no problem. Here's my fax number. Okay. So 5 to 2, I start the fax. Okay. And 2 minutes after 2, it ends. Is that a good quote? It started at 5 till and it ends at 2 minutes after. What do you think? Nope. Yes, no. No. You're all correct. Okay. It's the end time, not the start time. So kind of put that in your memory if you ever have to do a fax. Okay. And there's a cutoff time. Give yourself more time to start at 1:30 to make sure it does get there. Okay. On the far right, the third column, it has the view events package. That's all, everything that you're going to need to give a quote. It has here post vendor ad. I'll show you how to post an ad. And you have to be logged in to get that opportunity. Okay. If you didn't log in, you won't have that option. It has view vendor ads, other competitors, and it has the control information. In this case, it's got Maxwell Mayer and then his phone number and email. I'm very surprised that he has actually given you an email. Okay. Most people will not. Okay. And it's for your protection. Here's why. I read this solicitation. I want to put a quote on, but there's something wrong with it. Okay. I've been doing this for 20 years. I know how to put in a quote, and there's information that Max has not provided. Okay. So I email him and say, hey, Max, here's the problem. You need to get it corrected. Okay. Well, Max doesn't do it. Okay. And so someone gets awarded the contract, right? Well, I protested. So we're in front of the judge, and the judge says, why are we here? And I say, I sent Max an email about this solicitation. There was information not provided that needed to be provided. And he said he'd post it, he'd change it, and he didn't. And Max goes, yep, that's correct, right? Anyway, and so then the judge says to me, do you have proof that this happened? And I go, oh, this email? Would you like a copy of it, sir? Okay. In other words, if I would have called him, a phone call, there's no proof. But an email, I've got written proof. So here again, always, if you see a phone number, just ignore it and just email the person. Okay. Because you never know when you could be in a situation like I just described. Okay. And what happened in that situation was Max had to tell the buyer that, or the one who won the bid, sorry, but I've got to pull the bid and it's going to have to be reposted. Hopefully you'll be the winner again, but I have to repost it to make it fair for everyone. Okay. Under that is the pre-bid conferences. And those are really great if you are in Caltrans because they have them all the time, mandatory. Okay. Now, why do I say they're great? If you are a prime, you have to go to the mandatory pre-brief. If you don't sign in, i.e. that there's proof that you've signed in and you bid, okay, and there's no proof, it gets kicked out. Okay. So what happens is, 10 primes come to this briefing. Caltrans has the briefing, talks about it, whatever. Then what they do, they say, okay, primes, go. Here, check. I tried to shut it off. There you go. Anyway, and so the trans the prime you stop each one.
Thank you so much for your service and for calling Tri-Care.
All right, thanks. For the folks that are on, it seemed like that we got disconnected from Clemens and them proportion, and I'm gonna try to get back in touch with them. So hang in there, and we're gonna try to get them back on. In the meantime, I'm just gonna run a couple of commercials.
We are not a charity. We are veterans. We are warriors, brothers, and sisters. We don't need, we deliver. OpsForVets.com. Handshakes, not handouts.
I'm Albert Rencheria, Marine Chief Warrant Officer 4 retired, Ops for Vets CEO. I invite you to take a look at our organization. You'll quickly understand why out of thousands of groups currently serving our veterans, we have become the most rapidly growing and opportunity-rich team in the market. We have deployed dynamic distributors who are responsible for servicing and growing their regions, East, Central, and West. We provide a complete roster of high-caliber services, produced to create the results you require. Find us on the web at www.opsforvets.com. Handshakes, not handouts.
Courage, valor, experience. The values that make veterans are the values that make veteran businesses America's #1 choice. Veteran business owners throughout the nation are ready to connect. OpsForVets.com. Handshakes, not handouts. Ops for Vets connects veterans with business opportunities. Here is a closer look at a featured veteran business. Every business listed is a verified veteran-owned business and can be found in the OpsForVets.com supplier directory. OpsForVets.com. Get on the grid.
ever wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Or possibly, here again, that would be written in these, Caltrans may say, if you get awarded, saying, okay, we want to see.
If you go to a prime, if you're a small business or you're small, it's not, do they get your benefit of that or no? Does a prime get the benefit of a subprime?
Small business?
Or
Yeah.
DVB?
Because it could be just a general contract that is a subprime type thing. And the primes generally are not certified because they're too big. Okay. And so they're looking for you for the small business participation, the mandatory participation.
So they give your benefit.
Yeah. Okay. And let's see if we can get back on course. I'm still frozen.
You should still be there. Let me,
Okay.
Clam, everything seemed to be okay. Just need to get the PowerPoint back up.
That's what we're trying.
Okay.
Technology is great when it works. Oh, wait, it was, yeah. Well, let's see. Okay.
Got it.
Okay. Now, what this is what the place an ad looks like, and it is the KISS principle all over again. Anything with a red asterisk means it's mandatory information. And if you can't fill this out, you can't fill anything out. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. Your name, your email, your phone number. That's really hard so far, right? The title, what you're going to call it. I'm a fence person, so I'm calling it, Gross Fence Company. Response deadline whenever you're supposed to put your quote in. And then the description. Okay, you are given 2,000 characters. And you always, I repeat, always start out with your certification number. Why? Because the prime is going to pull that number up in Cali Procure, look at your profile, go to your keywords and your classification codes and say, oh yeah, he can do whatever I'm looking for. Okay. And then they're going to see how long are you certified till? Because if you are, you have to be current in your certification throughout the entire contract. You didn't know that, huh? Yeah. Huh?
Question though, how often is it? Every 2 years?
Yeah, your certification's good every 2 years. And the system automatically sends you a reminder 90 days prior to the day that you expire. Okay, the advocates. These are the gatekeepers of the agencies. Any agency that procures $100,000 or more must have an advocate. And so you go to Cali Procure, scroll down to the bottom right to training and resources. Go down to the 5th heading, research and marketing. The second one says contact a small business or DVBE advocate. And then when you get to the advocate directory page, you click download the directory. And you get this giant Excel spreadsheet of 235 lines. And I want to talk about a thing called the small business DVBE option. That's one way that a buyer can get a contract. And the way it works is the buyer goes in and finds at least 2 small businesses or 2 DVBEs. You need a minimum of 2, and you can't mix certifications. So you're the odd man out, okay? Because if I was looking for DVBEs, everyone else in this room are all DVBEs, okay? So, but if I was looking for small businesses, everyone, including you, would be included in that, okay? You just can't mix the certifications. And here's the nice thing. When you are certified small business and DVBE, I get to count you twice, once for my 25% small business goal and once for my DVBE 3% goal. So it's a win-win. So when you advertise yourself, you say, hi, I'm certified small business and DVBE. You notice I said small business and DVBE and not I'm DVBE and small business? Okay, no. The correct format is small business and then DVBE. Okay, I'm a veteran and I can tell you the correct way of presenting yourself. Okay, anyway, so what happened was 7 years ago, our director said that the small business DVBE option for all his buyers was a bunch of bunk. Okay, he didn't use that word, but you can substitute whatever word you want to put in there. Okay, and the reason being is he had people like me trying to lure people like you into getting certified. So would it not be logical? I come from DGS, right? That our buyers at DGS would come to you first. Okay, doesn't that sound fair, right? I lure you into getting certified, and so our buyers come to you first. Okay, so we created the first policy, and it's just like the small business DVBE option, which is for IT and non-IT goods and services from $5,000 and a penny up to $250,000 minus a penny, and $5,000 and a penny up to $388,000 for public works. Okay, so you see what's highlighted there: technology, highway patrol, and public utilities commission. Okay, they're highlighted. There are 18 agencies that are highlighted on here. I've made it easy for you. Okay, so if you're going to market, who would be the first 18 people you would market to? Would be the first people, right? Because they can, they can choose you before they just go to the general population of small businesses and DVBEs. If, whatever you're trying to sell, they buy, okay, obviously. Now, you'll notice column C there says construction. If you are in the construction field, I have just made your life so easy, it's disgusting. Why? Because if you're in construction, the only ones that you need to contact are the ones with the X. Okay, so out of 235, I get you down to, I think, about 60. Not too bad, okay? Now, okay. As you go down to the bottom, you'll notice the Department of Transportation, which is Caltrans. It's under T, not C. And at the very bottom, you have Veterans Affairs, right? CalVet, okay? It's under V, not under C for CalVet. Anyway, so going back to Caltrans, in May of this year, they came up with their own small business first policy, not DVBE, small business only. And it's from 0 up to 388,000. Okay. All they have to do is go in to small businesses and get a quote. Literally, I'm Caltrans, I'm a buyer. I call you up and I say, okay, today's Wednesday. I say, would you be interested in giving me a quote on blah, blah, blah? And you go, yes. I confirm your email. I send you the package and say, I need a quote by Tuesday, next Tuesday at 2:00. Okay. I call 4 people up. I get 3 responses. Okay. I review them that afternoon. Wednesday, I call you up and say, congratulations. you won. And then your response is, when do I start? Right? Okay. Then after that, show me the money. Pretty basic. Okay. It can be that quick, is what I'm saying. Now, with all of this, okay, is anything advertised? Not a thing. So it's up to you to contact these advocates and let's see. Oh, no, they don't have it here. Give them your 30-second elevator speech. 4 items. Number 1, your full name. Number 2, your company name. Number 3, your supplier ID number, your certification number. And number 4, what you do. And you have 30 seconds to do it in. I tell people, write it down on a piece of paper because you're going to be calling these people, right? They're not going to know that you're reading it. Okay. After the 5th or 6th time, I guarantee I could ask everyone in this room, do you know your supplier ID number? Okay. There. Okay. He's classic. Okay. And if I go around, I probably could embarrass everyone that maybe one of you know your supplier ID number. Okay. That number is so important. Okay, the most important number in your life is your social security number because that's how you got paid for whatever you do, right? This is your second one because guess how you get paid with the state is by your supplier ID number, okay? So by putting it down and reading it, making 6 or 7 phone calls, I guarantee by the 6th or 7th one, it'll be in your memory banks forever, okay? And it would go something like this. Good morning. My name is Wayne Gross. I'm with ABC Fence Company. I'm certified as a small business and DVBE. My supplier ID number is 1792943. And I build fences, be it chain link, cement block, or wood. Can you help me? Short, sweet, and to the point, right? All 235 on this wall, it's 250 on this this Excel spreadsheet. All of these advocates have been trained either by me or my peers on when their phone rings, they assume it's you, the small business, calling them with the 30-second elevator speech. Notice that I slowed down when I gave my number because hopefully by that time, they've grabbed their piece of paper and pencil and ready to copy the number, right? Okay, so, and the last thing is, oh, of course, yes. Okay, and the other thing is your capability statement. That is a 1-page resume of what you do. And there are 3 rules. The first rule is 1 page. It can be double-sided. The second is your certification number. And lastly is your UNSPSC parent codes. Okay. The UNSPSC is an 8-digit code and there are 4 levels. The first level, the highest level is the first 2 digits. The second is the first 4 digits. The third is the first 6 digits, which means it ends in 00. And then the 4th level is the 8-digit specific. Okay. On your capability statement, you want the 3rd level, which has the 6 digits and 00. Okay. And you want the code and the description. Okay. Because I guarantee no one's going to know what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0, 0 is. You know what I mean? But they can read what the description is. You know, I'm a bricklayer, that kind of stuff. Okay. And I'm offering every one of you the opportunity to send me your capability statement. And I'm certified to teach in the public schools, and I love getting my red pen out. Okay. It's one of the simpler things in life, you know, and I'll do it for free. And I love to rip everyone's a new one because I guarantee out of maybe 500 that I've seen, maybe 2 have actually been right on the money the first time. After I've ripped you a new one, I guarantee the second time when you send me the corrected one, it's corrected. So, okay. The next thing is our emergency contracting. What this is because of COVID and the fires, we created this database. Okay, and so it's started in October of last year. Okay, it's been gone for a whole year now, and we've done $1.5 million in emergency buying. Okay, what that means is all the procurement rules are at the door. Why? It's an emergency. You know, the field behind your house is on fire, right? We need to get whatever out there to get the situation under control. So we started out with 15 different categories. We're up to, I believe that's 30 categories. Okay. And so this is the KISS principle again. This is all you need. You have to be certified. Okay. So you have your certification number, the emergency categories. You can have several. You just don't have to have one. The description of your products and services, your business address, and your contact information, you know, your daily and your emergency numbers. Okay. And so I like to show, I'm a very visual person. If you go to Cali Procure and go down to the bottom right and click training and resources, the third one under inside state contracting, the third one says learn about the emergency registry. Yep. And here is that page. And on the top left is the one that you fill out. The one under it is for buyers. Buyers have to register also so that to see you, okay, because it's a specific database. It is not part of Cali Procure. It's a separate database, okay? Commercially useful function, okay? What this is, you are telling the world what you can do, okay? Like I said, if you are a painter and a prime says, hey, I'd like you to do tile work. You say, no, I'm not, I don't do tile work. I'm a painter, right? Unfortunately, you know, it happens all the time, okay? Or how's this? This is a really good one, okay? I'm a prime and you're my brother-in-law, okay? You're a DVBE and you can do the work, okay? But I call you up and say, hey, I'll give you $5,000 under the table if I can use your supplier ID number, okay? That way it's, you know, I'm meeting, you know, whatever he does, okay, he could do, but he's my brother-in-law. I want to give him a break, right? And he's married to my sister, you know, blah, 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 right? That happens all the time, unfortunately, okay? So you don't want to be a part of that mess, okay? And let's see. And so the last thing I want to talk about is reciprocity. Pay attention here, okay? And you click on the first one and it takes you to the reciprocity page. And these are agencies throughout the state that honor the small business and or DVBE certification, okay? Now, why do I bring that to your attention? Because I want more money in your wallet, okay? You are close to San Diego and Riverside, okay? I know that both counties honor the small business and DVB certifications. I'd highly recommend you find out what's there, okay? And what I'm going to show you right now is how easy this can be. Under the Bay Area, BART, if you click on it, it takes you to Welcome BART Guest. If you want to get registered with BART so you can start receiving solicitations from BART, you click that green register button, okay? Then that supplier ID number, just like your certification number, needs to go three places. Yeah, he gives me three. He knows what I'm talking about. 3 places it needs to go on your email signature block, okay? It needs to go on your website and your capability statement, Okay. Free advertising, right? And so if you're at an event and Bart happens to be there, you give them your capability statement. Remember me? And they look and go, oh, yeah, you're the guy that blah, blah, blah. You find out it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? And, I was assuming that the county of San Diego would be here. They will be here for next month, I hope. Anyway, so I click and you see that they accept both small business and DVBE. If you can sell to them, you click on it and there's their website and you can get registered. There's a button there on how to get registered there. Okay, it's very simple. I know. So last thing are utilities, and they are not reciprocity partners. Okay. However, if you are a DVBE, you are automatically put into this database. This database is run by the California Public Utilities Commission. Okay, it's called their Supplier Diversity Program. If you are woman-owned, minority, LGBTQ+, DVBE, or disabilities, they just added that, then you can get certified as a disadvantaged business enterprise. Okay, there are 3 agencies that honor the DBE certification: CPUC, Caltrans, and High Speed Rail. If you have a goods or service that can be, they can use, those are the agencies. And then what happens is, as a DVBE, you are automatically put into this database. Okay, and then you'll notice underneath here, I just went back a space page. There's 29 different agencies that you can get registered with, and then you put their certification number 3 places again: your email, your website, and your capability statement. Okay. And we talked. Okay. Online training and research. So in review, here's everything we talked about: the overview of the program, state certifications, bid solicitations, the advocates, reciprocity, and CUF. Now, you'll notice I didn't bring anything. I forgot. Okay. But you go to Plan B. Okay. And that's Al. Okay. I sent Al a copy of the one handout that I have for you, and it will be in your email. And so you can click on it and look at all of the stuff that is available to you. Finally, do I have? I don't know. You have my email address. Normally on Thursdays at 1 o'clock, I do a training program. Unfortunately, tomorrow I will be off because it's my 49th wedding anniversary. So I've moved it to Friday at 1 o'clock. If you send me an email, I promise you I can change your life. That's how positive I am. I've been doing this for 14 years. If you follow what I tell you, I can at least get you to the door. Okay? You have my email. All you have to do is send me an email and just put "I need trained." It's as simple as you need to do. And I will send you a link Friday morning before 8 o'clock. Okay? So send me an email between now and 7 o'clock on Friday, because I start work at 7 o'clock on Friday. And I will send everyone who sends me an email the link to the 1 o'clock training. So, thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And that concludes our presentation for today. Again, my name is Clement Johnson. My company is Clemtech LLC. And as we've shown in today, I hope everyone can wrap around operational technology and how we import the battery technology as part of that, and also the pipeline for getting trained personnel, and those personnel coming from MiraCosta in some points, and all of the good programs that Linda is doing. And don't forget the funding that she needs. If anyone is out there that is a venture capitalist, I invited a couple to attend the show. And I'll hand back over to Dr. James Cooley. Thank you so much, JC.
Great meeting, Clem. Great meeting. You know, I mean, this was absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead on and end this one and switch over to the next the television show.
Okay, does everyone have their logins for the TV show? We should have got them in our emails.
Okay,
Hold on, JC.
Well, it's also going to be on YouTube. So all I had to do is go back to YouTube, and it's going to go live in about 8 minutes.
Okay, outstanding.
Okay. Hey, I'll see everybody in a minute.
Okay, bye-bye.